What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. I got another video for you guys tonight. This one is Glen Johnson versus Tavoris Cloud. IBF Light Heavyweight Championship takes place on August 7th. And first off, I'm going to say this: I'm going to be unable to watch this card because I'll be out of town that weekend, so I'll be unable to watch this card of this August 7th HBO card. But I'm just going to get my prediction out there for this matchup. Very interesting matchup. I think this is a long-awaited matchup, a matchup we've been waiting for quite a while. This match was supposed to happen back in March, but was pushed back due to Tavoris Cloud signing with Don King. Some people see that as the reason, especially Glen Johnson, who is very outspoken, a very outspoken veteran fighter, and believes Don King had something to do with the fight being pushed back, because they did say an injury. Some don't believe it was an injury, they just think it was a Don King tactic. And me, I'm not going to speak my opinion on that. But overall, this is a very interesting fight between Cloud and Johnson. Glen Johnson coming off a victory over Yusuf Mack from back in February, coming off a victory over him. I did count Johnson out after the performance against Chad Dawson, because Chad Dawson just clearly outboxed and dominated him in the rematch. And I did believe personally that in the first match that Johnson was underestimated by Dawson, and I think that's why the fight ended up being as close as it was, because Dawson underestimated Johnson. And hands down, Dawson is one of the best light heavyweights today, and he was able to keep up with Chad Dawson and put up a very good fight against him. But it's been 2 years, and 2 years is kind of a long time for a 40-year-old fighter in their 40s. I believe he's about 41 now, but at this stage in Johnson's career, 2 years is a long time, because there's a lot of risk fighting at 40 years old, because you can get old overnight, and we've seen it happen in many boxing careers. But Glen Johnson does keep himself in very good shape, and did look good in his last outing. I did believe that Yusuf Mack was going to take the fight, but Johnson came back. He got the fight by knockout, and now he's taking on a young champion in Tavoris Cloud. Just won the championship last August against Clinton Woods in practically a one-sided showing. Tavoris Cloud, I believe he did want to fight Chad Dawson. Dawson dropped that belt and rematch with Glen Johnson to get that WBC interim belt, which he'll be fighting for August 14th against Jean Pascal. But Tavoris Cloud, decent overall fighter, but I do believe that he's still green. I think that him being out for practically a year, I believe this is a dangerous fight for him. And I'll start off with Johnson. Glen Johnson in this fight has to pretty much fight his fight. He's gonna have to. I think counter punching is gonna be the significant part of this fight. I think it's gonna be significant because Tavoris Cloud, when he throws his left jab, when he puts his jab out there, he telegraphs it. Not only does he telegraph it, but he doesn't get that hand up in time. He doesn't get the hand back in time, and when he gets his hand back, it's not covering the chin. So Glen Johnson has to expose that. He's going to have to do a lot of counter punching, counter overhand rights. He's going to have to use his own jab to set up some of these counters. He's going to have to, and also Glen Johnson, what he wants to do, since Tavoris Cloud is more of an offensive fighter, we need to see Glen Johnson pretty much get his combinations off. We need to see him clinch. We need to see a lot of clinching. We need to see Glen Johnson making this a very sloppy fight. He needs to make it a sloppy fight. He needs to pretty much stay as close as he possibly can against Tavoris Cloud. If he can stay as close as possible, take the range away, take the jab away, counter the jab effectively, throw combinations, and clinch and hold as much and fight just a smart fight, Glen Johnson can very well take this fight. I think overall, what's going to be the key significant factor for Glen Johnson overall is going to be experience. So that's what Glen Johnson needs to do in this specific fight to win. Tavoris Cloud in this fight, I think in this fight, Tavoris Cloud is gonna have to box very well, and I don't know if he has the good. I don't think he has as good a hand speed and footwork as Chad Dawson. I'm trying not to say Johnson, because I keep getting him confused with the football player. But I don't know if he has he doesn't have the technique of the Chad Dawson. He doesn't have the technique. So in this fight, I think that power is going to be the significant factor. Against the older fighter, you want to take the legs away. You want to go to the body as much as you possibly can in this fight. Tavoris Cloud wants to go to the body. He wants to and also he does want to set up some combinations up top as well. But Tavoris Cloud, to me, I think his defense is a little bit suspect, and I think he's a little bit green. Unless, maybe he's learned a thing or two in the last year or so, who knows. But in this fight, he's going to have to use that youth. He's going to have to work and use both of those to his advantage in this fight. He's going to have to overwhelm Johnson with shots, because if you could overwhelm Johnson, then you could take him out of his game plan. You could take Johnson out if you can overwhelm him, if you can use power, and if you can box. Those are practically the three ways to defeat Glen Johnson. And I think that Tavoris Cloud does need to overpower Johnson in this fight, and also he does need to, like I said, need to use the youth to his advantage. I think all that. I think he has the fresher legs, despite not fighting for a year. I think he has the fresher legs. I think he has more power in his shots. He does have more power in his shots, but quickness. I'm not sure. I think Johnson's a little quicker. I think he's a better thinker. So what do I think about this fight? I think that I'm gonna say that Glen Johnson should win this fight, because I believe that Glen Johnson will use, one, experience, and two, I think he has the ability to outthink Tavoris Cloud using his experience in this fight. So I'm gonna go with, and I think he has a superior boxing ability. I think he's gonna go out and he's gonna box against Tavoris Cloud. So I'm gonna go with Glen Johnson by a unanimous decision. Very close unanimous decision for Glen Johnson in this fight. But I'm not underestimating Cloud. I think he does maintain a very effective work rate in his fights. But I'm gonna go with Glen Johnson. I think experience. I think he's gonna outthink him as well in this fight. So anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.